All right, guys, welcome back to the AOC Malta Cyber Series Masters. Now we are into the next series of our quarterfinals between Raving Raptors Academy and Plasmons. Raving Raptors Academy having taken first place in their group stage over a surprising upset, beating their sister team of Raving Raptors, and then Plasmon being the number 2 seed of theirs. And they look pretty strong in theirs. I'm trying to remember who they played in that one. I'm pretty sure it was Edge, right? I think it was Edge that they played in their group stages, and they did very well in the group stages still. But now they're going to have to come up against Raving Raptors, who, if you ask my personal opinion, might be one of the weaker ones of the number 1 seeds. But they still were a very strong team. They did very well when they won against their sister team and crushed the other 2 teams that they played in their group stages. So they're a very strong team that you definitely have to fear. You have to respect what they can bring to the table. Now we see the Ari being taken away from Cyrax, and Zach being a very strong jungler right now with that Courage of the Colossus, being one of those people who can really benefit from it, getting a good elastic slingshot or let's bounce to really just maximize the size of that shield. Nar being taken away from the top laner of Raving Raptors as well as Aurelion, so not knowing how to play against that is probably going to be the main reason taken away with that. Caitlyn is a very strong AD carry who you don't necessarily want to play against. She can bring so much to the table with her range, with her damage from such a safe distance. Yeah. It's very smart to take that away. At least in also, and now we see actually an insta-lock of Syndra. Syndra is still a strong champion. There has been a lot of changes all over the map, especially with masteries, just the map itself, and then the assassin's rework, but she's still someone you need to fear.
Yeah, absolutely, and they go ahead and lock that one in, no problem. Raving Raptors Academy, you said they're one of the weaker teams, but they also did upset their sister team, and that was a huge win for them. So it wasn't like it was a walk in the park for them.
Yeah, that's why I said weaker, but not like super weak. They're still a strong team who you need to fear.
Absolutely, and Plasmons, it came down to the final game for these guys. We remember watching Group D. We had a couple of those matches last week. And we thought there was going to be potential for a 3-way tie there. Didn't end up being the case when all was said and done. But still, they didn't know going into their final matchups if they were going to be going into playoffs or not. Whereas Raving Raptors Academy, they locked that one in pretty early on.
Yeah, they locked it in when they beat their sister team. Then coming in with the next game that was pretty much one-sided. They did a really good job. That's why I said you really got to fear them. Ooh, the Nautilus pickup. And Vayne being that pickup that they had last time. I'm pretty sure it was on Pabino, their AD carry, who was one of the reasons why they won was that Vayne.
Yeah, and we also have to wonder where that Nautilus is going to go. Is it going to be in the support role? Because a Nautilus Vayne lane sounds really, really rough for a 2 versus 2. Seeing it in the top lane wouldn't be a huge surprise. Just being able to overlap those shields. We talk about a lot about the Colossus Mastery coming into play. Well, Nautilus, pretty much every ability in this kit besides his Riptide is going to be able to activate that.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hard CC coming from him and really amazing engage. One of my favorite champions to actually watch is Nautilus. I personally love that champion. I play a lot of him in the mid lane, AP, and everybody hates me for just for mentioning that. So
yep, I do hate you.
So I love that champion in very unusual, unorthodox ways, but he's such a versatile champion that you can play him top, jungle, or even support if you really want to. He can go all in a conventional sense. I like I said, I play him mid, but I'm unconventional. So in a conventional sense, though, he has a lot of flexibility he brings to the table that you really could decide anywhere just based off the enemy's team comp where you want to put him. And going into Poppy would be a pretty good matchup for him. He doesn't really have any flashes or dashes.
That's what it's going to be.
So the only thing that can really be stopped by the steadfast presence, I think, is his dredge line when he pulls in. So, okay, so it's going to be top lane Nautilus with that jungle Hecarim going against that Sejuani and Sejuani, we saw last game how she can really bring such a large impact to the game right now. With the current meta, with the Courage of the Colossus Mastery, she's benefited a lot from it.
Yeah, she absolutely loves it. The pick that I'm most surprised about in this draft, though, is Cyrax locking in the Sivir when he already knew that Vayne was going to be up against him.
Yeah.
And Vayne historically is a fantastic pick into Sivir, and whenever you see Vayne ever come into being a pick that you see fairly often, it's because it's played into the Sivir time and time again. So I'm really unsure why they locked in the Syndra. Just looking at the composition, it sounds great with their actual team comp. You know, their team fighting is off the charts, but in the actual lane, it's not going to be able to pressure the Vayne early on when Vayne is typically weak. And then if she's ever caught out in a side lane, it's going to be very, very rough for Cyrax.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough for Cyrax on that Sivir, like you said. It's going to be interesting how they play it, and I doubt they're going to go for too much of a kill threat as more of a let's push out the lane and then try to go for objective control across the map.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for, because again, their team fight is pretty out of this world, whereas you know, on the side of Raven Raptors Academy, they've got carries all over the place. They've got that big mid laner, that AD carry, and then you have these giant show-stopping tanks up in the top lane out of the Nautilus. The Karma's just going to buff him up as well. So their team fighting is a little bit more peculiar because they're not going for this huge wombo combo. They're looking for Dexalute to kite around in the fights, for Dominator to be a force to be reckoned with on the Syndra. But similar to the last game we just saw, where it's all up to their backline, can they stay alive against the ridiculous engage potential on the side of Plasmon? And last time, it didn't work out well.
No, didn't. Yeah, it didn't really work out well for the side of the Hecarim, and that's going to be something that's really telling, is if they're able to coordinate both Delrith and Pabino when they go in for engages, if they get the Dredge line hooking in for the Nautilus to get in there at the same time that we see an onslaught of shadows, they probably can then make the plays that they need to have the carries from Dexalute and from Donut Dominator being able to bring what they need to the table, but they really need to make sure their communication's on point in these games. If they have any hesitation from any member that doesn't quite communicate what they want to do well enough, you can see heavy punishment coming out from the side of Plasmons.
Absolutely. With all that gigantic crowd control, if you just step out of line for just a little bit, especially if your name is Dexalute or Donut Dominator, basically if you start with a D besides Delrith up in the top lane, you gotta be worried, because if one of those members go down, there's no way they can ever win a team fight, because there's just so much damage, so much tankiness, so much AoE damage coming out from the side of Plasmon, that the sustained fight isn't going to work out if your Vayne or your Syndra are knocked off before it even begins.
So that's what we're gonna have to look for this game right now. Figure out who's gonna be able to win, and if Raven Raptors Academy play like they did in the group stage, they can, even with this team comp that can be shut down, they still have a good chance. If they are able to get Dexalute ahead, make sure that he does an amazing job on that Vayne again. If we see Donut Dominator just able to solo out anyone in the mid lane, it's going to be hard against the Vladimir. Vladimir definitely a good pickup against the Syndra. And kind of surprised that we saw the Ahri ban and not the Vladimir ban when you plan on taking Syndra so early.
Yeah. That is a good point to put out there, because they locked it in first. There's also the possibility they banned Ahri very early on, that they weren't even planning to take the Syndra. They just assumed that Plasmon would take it off the table, but then when it doesn't happen, a lot of your pick ban strategies can kind of get fudged around a little bit, and that's why they walked into the Syndra first pick. And against the Vladimir, it still will win out in the early laning phase. It's just once Neuroxio can get his first big purchase that it just turns into this stalemate where Dominator isn't going to be able to do really anything in that battle, and Neuroxio is going to be very safe to push out, to step up, and look for some roaming plays.
Yeah, and before we get into the game, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, AOC Gaming, Go, Malta Tourism Authority, Esports Gaming.bet, Miney, GT Omega Racing, and the Gamers Lounge. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone behind the scenes. Christu, thank you so much, all admins behind the scene, for what you're doing to help us bring this tournament to everybody.
Do I get any thanks, Magical Voice? I really do like positive reinforcement.
If you bring me 5 dank memes by the end of this game, I will give you a giant round of applause.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I take it back. I don't need the Zyra. Zyra's taking Bond of Stone.
That's wait, what?
Zyra has Bond of Stone.
Wait, what?
Zyra has Thunderstone.
I'm very confused by that. That is
Yeah.
But no, Andrew, I love casting with you. You're one of my favorite people to cast with. You.
Aww.
One of those people that makes it entertaining and also brings very good enlightenment to the game, such as that noticing the bond of stone on that Zyra. Very interesting decision.
For all those aspiring support Zyras out there, you don't want to run that. I mean, we saw a couple times, I believe, actually during Worlds, them accidentally take, I believe it was the Windspeaker's Blessing on Zyra, because they're just so used to playing like Karma all the time. It's like, well, Zyra doesn't really have any shields, so that's a little bit awkward. And Bond of Stone sounds even worse.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it will keep Sivir a little bit more alive.
Nope. Don't read into it. You give people the benefit of the doubt way too much.
I'm a good cop. You're
it's wrong. It's wrong.
We're talking about
it's wrong.
I'm a good cop. You're the confused cop who questions everyone's decision. And I try to support their memes that they try to lay down in these games.
No, you're like the jury. You're trying to be like the nice guy, and I'm the prosecutor. I'm just like, nope. These guys they're guilty. They're guilty.
I don't know if he committed that murder. We have pictures of him committing the murder. I don't know.
He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. Chose the wrong mastery on the wrong champion. It wasn't his fault. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes. And no, don't do it to me. No. Cyrax. Are you banging your head against the keyboard, Magic?
Yes! Please, no, don't do this to me now.
No more.
I'm having flashbacks. Ender, hold me.
I'm not gonna hold you, Magic. You have to fly free. You have to fly free. Don't cry. Don't cry, my child. We're gonna be okay.
Okay, it seems like it was a weird... Cyrus is still in the game. It said he just...
Yeah, no, he reconnected like half a second after.
That's just one of those things. I was too busy hitting my face on my keyboard, so...
Yeah.
I was, really, really upset and crying inside.
We could tell.
Crying inside and out. These were not tears of joy. These were tears of pain.
Exactly.
So now we see standard shards coming in from both sides. And... interesting that we actually see Pabino starting with that red buff. Ooh, I thought we were going to see some early cheese coming in from Bloodhound for a second. He dropped that ward. And that would have actually been something I would have really enjoyed seeing coming out of Bloodhound, trying to make an early play onto that Vayne, maybe get Cyrex ahead of the Vaynes. As we said, that usually you see Vaynes pick into Sivers because it's an easier matchup for them. Sure, they get pushed out of lane, but later game they're just going to be absolutely monsters. And it's hard to spell shield the Condemn because you can't really predict that coming all the time.
Yeah, it is very difficult. Just Vayne does so much more in the 1v1. Sivir, this utility teamfight oriented champion, whereas Vayne, she's super greedy. You know Vayne's in your solo queue games, they want to be split pushing all game long, just get super fed. In late game, they promise they will carry, and that's what Dexalute is promising to his team this time around. And he has a good matchup to do so in it.
Now, we did see him last time. He did accomplish that goal last time we saw him on that. So I wouldn't doubt his ability to, as we see Delorith, not afraid to fight Melorith in the top lane, getting a decent chunk of damage.
No pull on Neruxio.
Neruxio is in a bad spot. We have the ghost being caught by Bavino. He wants to get this kill on Neruxio. We see maybe a dive coming in. Bloodhound taking very low. And now in the bot lane, we see the heal being used by Dexalute, trying to keep himself alive in this fight against Van Diesel and Cyrex. Both Cyrex and Van Diesel taken very low in that fight. Dexalute, why did I struggle with that name for a second? He took a lot of damage in that as well, though.
Yeah, it's a knife fight all across the board. Even top lane, they're just wailing at each other with those wet noodles up there and getting the damage down. It's
early game. We've talked about how tanks have really good high base damage. So at this point, it's not wet noodles. They're actually hurting.
It's just that these specific tanks have gigantic floaties, these huge shields that make it so that they can't actually take damage.
This is very true.
Oh, Cyrax.
Oh, Cyrax. The flash coming
in
from Dexalute. They get the first blood. Heathens picking that up. First blood going over to the side of Raving Raptors Academy.
And there we go. These guys, they're so good. We praised them so much because they took out their sister team in a matchup that, just looking at it, it's the academy team versus the main roster. You never expect them to win out. Not only did they win that game, they won the group, and they're already jumping out to an early lead here with a weak early game AD carry. Vayne should not be able to punish very heavily, especially when you're up against a Zyra who should just be so dominant in this 2 versus 2.
And I'll give a lot of credit to Heathens. He's doing a great job on that Karma. Karma is not considered, I wouldn't consider it a counter to Zyra, but it's an even matchup. It's a really good skill matchup lane when you pick a Karma into that, because the poke that Karma still brings it to the table is going to be able to swing it in your fight if you land a lot of those Qs.
Yeah, the double range supports down there tend to go quite similarly, I'd have to say. The Zyra, Karma. Zyra is going to do a lot more damage in the later game. That's the big difference in the team fights, whereas Karma's much there more to buff up your team. There's a definite trade-off, and right now they might seem quite similar, but later on they will fall into their own respective niches.
Exactly. And, well, like you said, range supports, you gotta love that misfortune support too. That's just one of those things I know that you love.
Don't get me started.
I know you loved it when that came out. I wet myself slightly when I saw that.
And so Magic is now going to be muted for the rest of the cast. He's got something to go do. We're just going to kick him out right now. Oh boy. Hey. I feel like I'm babysitting you when I
That happens sometimes. Oh, here comes the gank from Bloodhound. You're going to be able to get that. Malviz able to get the kill, even though he was a level down in that fight, and we saw the death charge being used by Delrith to try to pick up the kill, but really good timing by Bloodhound being in the top lane.
Well, yeah, he's just too tanky, can't really do anything, and there's nowhere to go. He got caught on the wrong side of the minion line, and you can't find a good way out with the dredge line. He accepted his fate and tried to turn things around. Unfortunately for him, it didn't end up being the case. The big surprise to me, though, is that his counterpart Malviz went for a chain vest when a Nautilus is going to be doing primarily magic damage for the early game. I get that he wants to get a Sunfire Cape early on, but because he didn't have enough for the Balmy Cinder, his itemization is really lacking right now.
That is definitely an interesting pick into the side of from Malviz picking up that chain vest, because like you said, it's not going to do much against a Nautilus.
See, here's where you're supposed to tell me, well, it's going to reduce the damage the minions are going to do to him, Ender.
No.
It's totally planned.
No, I can't argue this one. I'm sorry. There are certain things that a good cop can't always argue. And there are definitely sometimes when you have questionable plays, and this being one of them. And now we see a trade going back and forth, and Delrith realizes that he has the advantage over Malviz. The Keeper's Verdict used to try to knock him up, get a little bit more damage, but he's trying to bully him around, use that advantage that he has. Gonna get the dredge line.
Oh, he might have him.
Oh, he almost had him. He didn't have enough time for the Titan's Wrath. If he had the Titan's Wrath on cooldown, he would have been able to get the lockdown and then the auto reset with that, which then does a burn over time. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the dive.
It's a close call right there, but if you're just looking at the minimap while all those exchanges were going on top lane, you saw Dominator and Pabino making their way into the enemy jungle, and that's one of the best things about Cinder. Not only is she so dominant in the 1 versus 1, because she has so much control over the center of the map, it enables your jungler to go into that enemy quadrant and really start to steal things away.
Engage right now. Bloodhound is in the area, trying to maybe get into the bot lane. He has level 6. He does have the Glacial Prison, does not use the flash charge Glacial Prison to try to lock down any of them. Probably better for him in the end.
Yeah, they can't really find anything, but they have those big level 6 power spikes. They want to make a play down bottom, especially because Malviz's teleport is going to be up before Delrith's is available. So especially once that one gets checked off, they will absolutely try and make a play down here. Even go for a dive potentially, because Vayne Karma, they can't really go anywhere if you engage onto them.
Now, see, this is the thing that we've been saying. Bloodhound, he had only ganked really once or twice if you technically count him roaming down towards the bot lane right there, but I wouldn't consider that a gank. But he's made more map pressure than we've seen from Pabino so far. Pabino really has been trying to farm up as best he can, but hasn't made a giant impact in the game. And now we see a fight going on, just skirmishing in the top lane between Delrith and Melviz, as we see the side of Plasmons. They're going for this dragon. They are trying to get the objective, not thinking Puppy Zone some air. Onslaught of Shadows comes in. He does steal it, gets the smite because Bloodhound smited a little too early. Here comes the Unleashed Power getting Van Diesel, and there goes Neuroxio. He then does drop, but Cyrex and Bloodhound, they're in a very bad spot. We're going to see the flash coming in from Cyrex, but here's the flash by Dominator picking up that kill, and Bloodhound having to just limp away from the fight. And top lane, all the while, just having these giant skirmishes back and forth.
That is so ridiculous. What is up with all these dragon steals today? On like Hekarims too. Pabino following in suit right there, steals away, but they don't stop there. They get the dragon and they win the ensuing fight. Dexaloot getting... Oh, no. Oh boy. Oh, Malviz!
Oh, the Titan
is
able to win the drops and the minion aggro killed him.
What on earth just happened right there? I'm like watching the replay of it on my second monitor. Malviz heroic charged onto a minion, which caused him to take a turret shot. Not only that, but he lost the damage in that 1 versus 1. He should have been able to live there 100%.
Yeah, he should have been able to live. But even if he had a heroic charge on the Delrith, the problem was Titan's Wrath came on cooldown at the most clutch moment possible, right when he heroic charged. So even if he had hit it, there was still that shield. No matter what, Delrith would have died. But Malviz just ends up trading a kill because cooldowns ended up favoring Delrith just in that exchange.
Yep. A little bit awkward right there. It's been an awkward day. We talked about that a little bit before. The slightly confused comp Ender in the house is wondering what's going on and why exactly all of this is happening. But I do like pointing out some of the more odd picks itemization, like the Vayne, not out of this world, but has the makings of an Infinity Edge. I don't think we'll see that one finished out.
No. I don't think so either. Look at this. Delrith using the minions in his favor to try to bully around Malviz. Really smart move on his point. He knew he had the minion advantage, and so he bullied around Malviz, forcing him to fight. And he's fighting him again. Here's Bloodhound trying to lock him up the Glacial Prison, hitting up on them. Delrith wants to get a return kill. He does get a return kill. Is he going to be able to fight Bloodhound? He is getting really low.
He still has the ult.
Charge. Oh my god, he's able to survive that one. The depth charge, scaring away Bloodhound, knowing that he can't fight this actually against him because he's still just tanky. He doesn't have damage on the side of that Sejuani. Sejuani might scale with health, but she doesn't have that much health. Here's Palbino. They're looking for a dive onto Bloodhound in this top tower. Onslaught of Shadows, getting him out of that one. Kill, going over to Delrith.
Well, today I learned that Nautilus is a carry top laner, and he does a whole truckload of damage. I actually just don't know what to say right there. He just completely destroyed Plasmon, and now they're just continuing to get bullied out everywhere.
And it has a lot to do with that high damage, but here's the
good god!
Dominator, really smart play on him, with burning out the Sanguine Pool on Neuroxio, so that way he could use the Unleashed Power and not have it negated.
I'm a little bit disappointed, honestly, in the itemization we've seen out of our two Vladimirs today. Going for the Hextech Proto Belt first. I mean, it's not the worst item on him, but the fact that you're getting solo killed means that you are not performing as you should be on the Vladimir. Therefore, go tank. It's like this constant flow chart with Vladimir. If you're getting solo killed, why are you building damage? Get the first item, Spirit Visage, and there's no way the Dominator can actually kill you.
Right. That's questionable, and I think a lot of people are still going for that.
That's the word of the day.
Questionable. Make sure to write that down, kids. But it's almost worrying that it's a trend that people aren't realizing, especially with the changes to Proto Belt. It's not nearly as strong as it was. It's not as much of a mandatory rush. You can kind of go for its second item because it's been nerfed with its overall damage.
I think though that it still is quite good as a first item because it's so cheap. That was always the draw to it, the lure, the mobility, and the cheapness. The damage did get nerfed, yes, but I don't think that was the major focus for players as to why they wanted to pick it up.
Delrith is just bullying around Malviz with this Nautilus in the top lane. I almost want to see I want to have that rekindling of the Zizarot Nautilus top split push.
Zizarot banner command.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite times with
those are worst times. I could have played an LCS with that. You could have played an LCS if you were a top laner then.
Hey. Just because I'm bad at the game doesn't mean you have to point it.
It does. Because then it makes everything I say sound much more smart.
Well, see, I yell really well. I yell and say what the action is. That's just why we have you as the color, because you know what you're actually talking about.
Yeah, so when you tell me the Mountain Drakes are better than Infernals,
okay,
I'm right.
That one actually, I'll argue that mountains are better, because I think objective control. And this is from a caster.
Infernal Drakes give you objective control. Yes, more damage to neutral objectives, and not only that, more damage in team fights. And everywhere. It gives you better shields. It even helps out supports. Yeah.
It's meh. It helps out, yeah, but it doesn't help you quite burst things down as a Mountain Drake does. Mountain Drake helps you burst down these objectives that you really need to get.
Wrong.
This is the only time I'll argue that's different, because while I might not play the game well, at least I research well.
Also, Nautilus mid is not good. You should stop playing that. Although top lane, Del Rith is making it look god tier.
See, people told me that, and then I carried. See, I think the most frustrating thing for you is I play these things, and then I end up winning the games, and you're just like, who are you playing against that's this bad?
I know who you're playing against. It's so bad. That's the thing.
Oh, Delaware coming in.
1v5.
He's not afraid.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of no ghost. He is the Ghostbusters. He does use the depth charge on to Bloodhound, misses the dredge line. He's really just focusing away Cyrus as we see.
Look at him go!
By Fabino. Oh! He kill on to Neuroxio. We do see that he finally drops, getting killed by Bloodhound, but there goes Cyrix, getting the kill on him. The stun coming in from the Scatter of the Weak on. Donut Dominator, the unleashed power gets him very low, but Ben Diesel is there to keep him alive. They might look. Sexlet really wants this. He's taking a couple tower shots, decides to back up. Nope, Fabino. Yeah. Okay, just ends up running away. So
just sending the message right there.
Yeah, overall, it is in favor of Raving Raptors Academy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Not only do they win the fight, they also get the turret shortly thereafter. Yeah. Can we just talk about Delrith for a little bit longer? Because that guy was 1v5ing for the first 20 seconds of that one, and still takes out Neuroxio before he drops. That guy's a monster.
So, regardless of what happens in this game, Delrith has earned my respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
At level 11. The ball's at level 11 to just go 1v4 into the enemy team and just be like, whatever, I'll get a kill.
Oh, it's Delrith! He just lost it all.
Why? You were the chosen one!
I was just about to say, what if he was the one that just disconnected right here? And then he does. And yeah, so we're going back to the AMA, guys. If you have anything you want to ask us in chat, feel free. Because we just had a 30-minute plus pause in the last match. And we're buckling down. We're ready for the winter here. It might be a long one. He's back. Yes! He's back. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Don't you worry. We'll be out of here, back on the Rift in just.
All right. So we have our first question. Why are you praising Raving Raptors Academy? We're really praising Delrith right now because he's had an amazing showing so far on this Nautilus. He is really the one we're praising. Just having the balls to go in 1v4 at level 11, not being that tanky, and just be like.
What about turning around the gank, the 1v2? That was pretty insane.
The 1v2 gank too. He's the one we're praising. Let us be clear, that is Delrith right now that we are praising.
Yeah, and by the way, the word pause doesn't make me cry now, but I don't think I'll ever be able to like wear sunglasses again, because that's basically what happens whenever a pause happens. You know, you get like the sepia tone on Summoner's Rift, and it's just all over after that. No more sunglasses for me.
I
PTSD.
I can't watch Western films anymore.
No more black and white. Oh, that's just from you dying all the time when you play Nautilus mid, I'm sure.
No, I don't die that much.
Yeah, okay. Delrith has 75% of his team's deaths. I mean, we're praising the guy, but he's also dying a lot for them.
Yeah, but he's bringing a lot of attention to him. He's doing pretty much.
He's playing Nautilus top.
He's playing Nautilus top, but he's playing almost akin to how you see a Singed. Singed might die a lot in games, but he brings so much presence to the game just with him proxying, with him being all over the map. And then you want to chase him, but he's so tanky and deals a good amount of damage if you try to chase him that it's just not worth it, which is why it's rule number 1 of League.
Yeah. I guess. By the way, I'm also on Team Vorhanix, if you're wondering in chat. 100% on board with that one. Oh boy, we've derailed completely. We're in the game still. It's still League of Legends.
We haven't had that many pauses, please.
True. Oh, Malvis.
Pabino, they want to go for it. They want to go for Malvis. Malvis uses the keep it very onto Pabino, flashing away, trying to get the damage from the turret to help him out. Onslaught of Shadows, trying to lock up Malvis, but look at that. Delrin just tanked the tower the whole time. He did not care. Honey Badger.
Oh, Van Diesel, where are you going, buddy?
Oh, you're way too far out. He's trying to flash to his team. Here comes Bloodhound. He does flash in onto that one, using the Glacial Prison. It did not Donut Dominator picking up the kill onto Van Diesel. This is going to be the tower going next. They do have Fabino going in on the Bloodhound. Bloodhound is still pretty tanky, but gets hit by the Scatter of the Weak. The Emo Plague used onto Dexalute and onto Heathens. But now Cyrus is here.
Delrith can TP.
Coming in. Delrith is going to be able to get back into this game really healthy.
Oh!
Goes in. He flashes in and gets the kill on the Cyrus. There goes Donut Dominator killing Bloodhound, and that is going to be a fight going over to Raving Raptors.
And that just completely explodes this game right here. They don't pick onto Neroxy, but he's so fast he might just catch him.
Oh my, Delrith, he does not care. Using the Flash Cone himself to keep himself with Neroxio. He wants to lock him down again. He is able to get the lockdown.
What am I watching?
Attention. Here comes Malvis and Van Diesel over to Delrith because they have to deal with him because he's just such a monster.
They just can't do anything to that guy. He's just this giant brick wall that won't go down.
I was gonna say, please give him the Rift Herald, because that would just be even funnier. But
oh God,
it just went down right now. That would have been just hilarious to see Delrith with Rift Herald.
Just whenever because Rift Herald kind of sounds like Jax when he gets those stacks up and is like thunking away, and then like he just takes that. Oh, Neroxio, he's good. But
he's good. Van Diesel was there, but here comes Delrith.
Oh baby, just gonna gank those darn minions, get those out of the equation. Okay, well, now that we can once again talk about League of Legends, and hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Pabino wants to go in. He's trying to fight Neroxio, but Bloodhound.
Where's Delrith?
What are you doing?
What is happening?
He wants the blue buff. He stole the blue buff. He's going in on the Zark. Zark did use the spell shield on the depth chart, so he wasn't able to get knocked up. He gets the kill on the Van Diesel. Delrith is just going in as far as he can, flashing away, trying not to go down. And from Zyra might get the kill. We did see Dexter dying over to the side of Malvis, but Delrith, what are you? Who are you?
I don't even know. We thought this was gonna be like the Assassins patch. Well, all these tanks are now Assassins. Even Malvis is soloing out Dexalute.
They're looking for Neroxio and Malvis. Here they come, going in for the engage. They do have Bloodhound coming in, trying to use the Glacial Person. It does zone out. Delrith dies to the tower, just tanking up for far too long with too low of health. And here comes the engage from Malvis, trying to get on the Heathens, but we do see Dominator trying to do his best to keep him alive. Really good play coming in from the side of Malvis, though, to really just zone him away and be tanky enough to not have himself go down, and instead getting the kill on Pabino.
This is what I like to call a sloppy game from both teams. Yeah, and we're kind of tossing professionalism out of the window because this day has just been going on so long. We've been paused for, probably over 40 minutes on the day, and now neither team seems to want to take their advantages that they've been able to gain and actually turn it into something palpable. And instead, Raving Raptors Academy, they get a million towers, a million teamfight wins, and then throw a lot of it away right there in the middle lane. Now we're going to lose a dragon for it. I mean, unless Delrith just 1v5s, I don't know. I've seen stranger things today.
It is only an Ocean Drake, though. It's not the worst one to lose. So, having lost that it's bad. It's like, okay, you lost the objective, but they still have the dragons in their favor, and it was only an Ocean.
Lost the battle, but Raving Raptors, they definitely want to win the war, and going for the objective play. Every time a ball gets tossed out, I clench a little bit because Donut Dominator does so much damage.
Nah, he does. And that's the thing with Synders. Synders deal a ton of damage. You always have to respect each time a ball is thrown out that if it lands a Scatter of the Weak, you're pretty much going to lose a good chunk of your health.
Although Pabino is actually splitting. Plasmon are going for the fight.
Oh, they're going for it. They notice that they had the advantage. They go on to Dexalute, get a really good heroic charge on the side of Malvis. They get Dexalute. He drops in that fight and now they're trying to see if they can get Delrith. Delrith is pretty tanky. Delrith don't care. He does use the Dreaded Dog. And here comes the onslaught of Shadow, trying to get into the back line.
Oh, 3-man!
That was a great Scatter of the Week. They get the kill on both Bloodhound and Van Diesel. There goes Cyrus. They're going to keep engaging. Are they going to be able to get Malvis? I don't think so. Pabino was singing a lot of the tower, trying to get Neroxio. Oh, he's so close, though. They're going to just get this tower. It's still a really good trade for them. Are they going to be able to get more, though? Probably get a little bit of pressure on to this inhibitor tower, or maybe even rotate. Looks like they're rotating towards the bot tier 2 tower to get that.
Wow! They lose Dexalute right off the bat. They're down in numbers. But Donut Dominator, he's legendary right now. Absolutely trying to carry on the Cinder and landed a 3-man Scatter of the Week. Scatter Plasmon, it did. And they are able to turn it around and still come out on top of a fight that looked like they should have lost flat out.
He's the unsung hero. We keep focusing on Delrith. Donut Dominator's like, please focus on me. I want the attention. And
he doesn't want the attention. He's happy if they're focusing Delrith and he's going untouched in the back
I'm
line.
talking about from us.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just messing with you a little bit.
But yes, it's really interesting to see. And Delrith really is the one, I'd say, making these plays happen for them. He's not afraid to just go and take a lot of damage, especially with that Courage of the Colossus. It makes it so that he's even more tanky than he seems like he's going to be. He gets that massive shield, and he's in there, and he's already just going to be doing a lot of CC, so it's like you don't focus him, he's going to CC you. If you do focus him, it does nothing because he's so tanky.
That's pretty much the moral of the story this time around. My question is, how long until we see the Academy here go for a Baron? Do they just go completely aggressively? They've got vision control completely around this, and there's no wards on it. They could just start it up, honestly, if they just wanted to, because they are so damn strong. And to be honest, if they just bait Plasmon into taking a fight, they could TP in Delrith from behind, and it is so hard for them to lose a fight at this point. But Plasmon, that is where their strengths can be found. They are playing this game for the team fights. It's just a matter of, can they find the right targets in them, and the right target is Donut Dominator.
Yeah, but you have to get to Donut Dominator.
Oh,
you have to be able to kill him. Oh yeah,
they don't know.
They don't know. Look at that. They're all on the bot side of the map. Really good call coming in from the side of Raven.
They can't get there in time
because they saw with the vision. They have really good vision cover of that bot side of the map, so they're able to get that really fast. And Delrith was able to bring so much attention just to him that they had to. If they didn't do that, he was going to get so much for the side of Raving Raptors Academy. It ends up being a win all across the map too. Oh no, Ender, you've gone silent on me, buddy. Are you okay? Ender, don't you die on me now!
I can't believe. I can't believe. I feel like D-Man right now. I cannot believe. Back to the AMA, so you can ask us any questions you may have in chat. We just had half the players in the game leave, so if you've got any questions for me
I
or
already saw that in the chat. They said that it happened, but they all got fixed again, so they're all back in. So we got like a minute or two of downtime, AMA, and then we'll be back in.
Yep. So clearly the wood I've been knocking on is not good enough for this league. I was asked when my next stream is, and that'll be later on tonight, even though I don't think I should be advertising my own stream, but it's definitely linked to that Twitch account that Mechanics just targeted right there.
Yeah, so would you rather kiss Heathens or Delrith? Can I have a threesome?
It was just kiss.
Oh, well. Can I have a threesome?
Now. Wow. So professionalism out the window, and
so seeing as Heathens added me on League, I will go with Heathens.
Yes. He's clearly attracted to you. That's all it can mean. Everyone that adds you in League of Legends is interested. Yes. They're interested. They want you to take them out to dinner, wine and dine them,
Oh, that's a lot of effort,
You gotta work for it if you want it,
Man, I'm lazy. I just want to play League of Legends and cast.
Ender L, what do you think about Malta internet providers? I don't know, because I thought EU West was having an issue, so I don't know. I know that there's one internet provider I like, Magical Voice. Do you know who that is? Can you read my mind?
Yeah, I think I can, because it's the best one in Malta, and that would be Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Go is the best one in Malta, so you guys should definitely love them.
Nice. Tell me on the doll where the paws are. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out what that even means. And best turning dynamic duo Vorhanix. That's the best name duo I've heard. So I'll go ahead and say yes until someone can bring me a better one. That's the best one I've heard so far. At the Ender, it's the Ender L, not the Ender 1, by the way. Do you agree that Mouch and CLG Huhi is the second best bot lane MLT? That's hard to say because we haven't really seen enough games, I don't think. Because we only cast what, like a third or like a fourth of the actual games in the group stages. So I think that especially after I believe we're doing quarterfinals for one more week. After that, we'll have seen all of the teams, and we should be able to like give a good breakdown of the relative strengths of the individual players, because also a lot of the teams that played didn't get to play against all of the other top teams, so it was pretty one-sided most of those matches.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's something that we're going to have to see how it ends up playing next week when we get to see those teams. And if they're able to win, and really show that they're the ones the carrying force behind their team, then yeah, I'll give them a lot of credit. But we need to see them play more first.
Yeah, well.
So any more questions?
We need more questions. We need help here. There's nothing else to talk about. Other than the fact that in the break I had to go make myself lunch, and that's why Magic was solo casting at the beginning of Champ Select. I was eating, so
I'm eating Cheerios right now.
Yeah, I know. I can kind of hear a little bit, so that's I was leading into that one slowly to see if you would
Is
admit.
life fair? I'm dead inside, so
Yeah, we don't sponsor Cheerios, but no, Cheerios are fantastic.
So Fizzle, I'm dead inside. You can soon go to my store. It's gonna have that shirt. AKA, follow me on Twitch. What?
Wow. So,
Shuttle fell out.
Oh, 3, 2,
we're
1. We're back. We're doing it. We're doing it, guys. I'm just amazed that we're still holding on to viewers after listening to us literally just joke around during pause. But then again, what else is there really to do?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for sticking through all of the issues, even though it's not like issues on our end. It's issues with the individual players.
So we're able to bring at least good content to you. I'll answer this last question before. So it says, which brings me to another question. Is life real? This is all just a hologram. We're all living in the Matrix, so don't trust anything. Buy gold.
Wow.
Let's get back into the game, which is much more important here. So.
Yeah, well, memes over this game is definitely a true statement, because this game seems to be filled with them. I mean, Raving Raptors Academy, they're up 12,000. No more memes. We're gonna be serious for the rest of this game until the next pause at least. So there you go.
Okay,
Malvin's just jumping in.
Malvin gets hit by a really.
Go Cyrax!
Here comes Delworth. Delworth wants to get in onto this engage. He got a chance to use the depth charge, but Onslaught of Shadows getting Cyrax. He goes down. Papino has been stunned up for a while. He gets dropped to the tower shot. Malvin's picking up that kill. Here's the Hemoplague channeling. It does get a lot of damage. Look how low the side of Raving Raptors are. Dexter gets engaged upon by Malvis. Malvis is pretty tanky on that side. Heathen's trying to zone them away with a really good poke. But all in all, a really good fight for the side of Plasmons, who are down 11k gold.
Yeah, still firing back. This is the power of their team composition right there. Even though they lose Cyrax right off the bat, the rest of the team is so dang beefy, and they've still got a damage dealer in Van Diesel down there, even if he's running Bond of Stone and doesn't really have any AP. So I take that back. He's not building any AP. He's going for the tank Zyra, which apparently is going to be okay for his team, because they still come out on top in the fight. Now they're actually the ones securing the vision around this next dragon, securing the Scuttle Crab as well, and can't quite tell what that's going to be. It's going to be a Mountain Drake, your favorite, so we'll see if these guys fight over it.
I think Mountain Drake is one of the best. Actually, I think it is the best, then Cloud, then Infernal. And I already know that Ender hates me for saying that. Because
No. Wrong. No more jokes. We're serious mode here, okay?
That's my serious input on that. You think I'm kidding, but I actually put prevalence on those ones because they're objective and map control. But I also think that objectives win games, not necessarily fights. So,
Agree to disagree.
agree to disagree. We can. I'm 100% okay with that.
All right,
And
now they're
Can
barely
we agree
down
on
the
one
middle
thing?
line.
Can we agree on one thing though?
What?
Delrith is a
Don't
beast
joke on
in
me.
this game.
Don't joke on me.
Delrith is a
okay.
beast in
Okay,
this
I can
He is-
accept that.
So we can accept that. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And look at him, just hanging up the tower, not caring at all. They get that inhibitor tower, which they easily can do with Delrith being there and just being
Oh,
so
boy.
tanky, not taking that much damage. Here comes a
No!
engage. They were really good scatter of the week. Fabino wants to go in on this fight, but he gets hit by the heroic charge.
Oh!
5-man glacial prison. Great engage coming on the side of Bloodhound. Are they going to be able to get on a Dominator? He does drop in that fight. Now, Dexter, he's trying his best to cut, but he drops in that fight. Neuroxio getting a double kill, picking him up as well. Delrith is trying his best to get at least a return kill onto Zyrex. He's so tanky. He's trying his best. He does.
Oh, Delrith!
Oh my god, Delrith, but Heathens is the only one remaining for his team. That is actually a win over the side of Plasmon.
They're down 10,000 gold plus there, and they still win out. Raving Raptors Academy, when their carries go down, even before that happens, they don't have any real AoE damage. Syndra and Bane both, unless a Dominator can land an amazing stun. They're all looking to burst down single targets and kite out in these fights, but when Plasmon jump on them as 5, they cannot keep up, even when they are so far in the lead. And the gold is still 9,000, but this is a very, very close game.
It was at 13,000 for a bit. We have to remember, they've been closing the gap on the side of Plasmons. That was a great ultimate from Bloodhound. 5-man glacial prison. That is what won them that fight there.
100% won them the fight, and it's just so crazy to see. And actually, checking out Pabino's itemization, I'm really not a fan. He basically suicided in that one. He was so late to engage, really. It was the issue. And he has Asterix Gauge now. I feel like you just want to be a tank for your team. You don't need any carry itemization when you have such powerful carries in your lineup. You want to be a rock that can soak up the damage and not just drop whenever you try to start off a fight.
Yeah, I think that's why he got the stair gauge, just for that little bit of the.
But the issue is he has no resistances. That's the issue.
Right.
He's full HP. Full HP.
It is a big issue. I'll agree that he needs to get a little bit more tankiness, especially because that is the route he's going for. He needs to be that, like you said, that rock. He can't just be all on Delrith. Delrith is a beast. Let's not be wrong. Let's not get that wrong. But he needs someone to help him out. He can't be the only one going in there and then 1v4ing the team while his carries get completely killed.
And don't forget, they also knocked out the inhibitor turret right there, so they have a way to get on to that inhib, but they have to be very careful here.
And Delrith just being really tanky. He's their front line, but he's the only one. So he's trying his best to get onto the squishy members, but the problem is there's no peel really for Dexalute or for Donut Dominator. So when you have Neuroxio and Malvis go in, there's no one to help keep Dexalute or Donut Dominator alive if they are the ones who are getting focused.
Yeah, it's much more about the Raving Raptors here trying to maybe get some split push pressure, with Delrith, who has been crushing out in those 1v1s. Now they're so tanky that he probably won't be able to kill Malvis, but he should still have the pressure there. And these team fights are just not working for Raving Raptors. They have to be able to find some way to adapt, and sending one of their carries to the top lane might not be it, because that opens up so much pressure for Plasmon in this middle lane. And honestly, if Plasmon knew where Donut Dominator was on the map, they would have just engaged that fight right there.
Baron's about to start,
yeah.
So yeah, Baron's about to come up. This would be the time to go in. They're gonna use the.
We've got a Mountain Drake.
Yeah, there's.
Oh no, they don't. That was taken by Raving Raptors Academy.
Yeah, so they should have 2, I believe. Yeah, they have 2 Mountain Drakes, so they have a lot more burst on that. But we do see Delrith. He's in the bot lane. He's getting a good minion wave push, which is forcing Malvis to go deal with him. This could be the time that you see Raving Raptors Academy maybe going for something.
Yeah, if you can TP in Delrith 1 to 2 seconds before Malvis, that is absolutely huge for you. The issue with Raving Raptors Academy is there's not really a good target for them to focus down. They've been taking out Cyrax in a lot of these fights, but Cyrax isn't really that strong. None of the scorelines look that impressive, and everyone else is just way too tanky for them to burst out immediately. These fights are going to be very, very long and extended, and that is not something that a Syndra really thrives at doing.
Well, She does have that Void Staff, which is nice. It's going to make it so that she can at least try to get through these tanks a little easier, but it's not, you're right, it's not going to be the easiest thing for her to do. Bellarith trying to engage a little bit on Malvis. They are chunking him pretty low. Here
Look
comes
at that shield!
Oh, wow, the shield. And that's the thing about that Courage of the Colossus. It's absolutely monstrous. Hitting 3 men with the Keeper's Verdict gives them such an ability to stay alive, but that also puts a lot of pressure onto Baron.
They're on the base. They've got 2 mountains.
Oh, they got 2 mountains. They're going to be able to burst this. There is that ward, so they do know that they've started it, but I don't think they're going to be able to get there in time. Look at this. Look how fast it's going down. There's no way they're going to get in time.
Yeah, once again, Raving Raptors, they played around the Baron so intelligently. They did that before. They waited for Plasmon to show around that bottom lane and immediately hop onto that one. This time as well, they make the intelligent call to go for it. And
oh, no.
I don't know if you actually want to fight over an Ocean Drake if you're Plasmon. Whoa!
Look at this. Heathens is caught out in a bad spot.
There's no
Delrith is going
follow-up.
to be teleporting in to this fight. The dragon has been taken. Delrith wants to get in. He wants to try to do something because he did just waste his teleport. And it looks like it's going to be for nothing because they can't really get in on that. They need to start using their Baron. They need to just forfeit that and get that inhibitor.
Well, they could have just run straight mid lane right there. If Plasmon are going onto a dragon that you don't care about whatsoever, take the free advantage in that middle lane. Instead, they're just kind of split up all across the board, and I don't think they're going to gain anything off of that one, really losing a dragon. And
yeah, that's not good for Raving Raptors. We have seen for teams tonight. They have a hard time closing out the games when they have a lead. They're not sure if they want to take these risks, or they just don't play the map as well as they should. And Raving Raptors Academy are falling into that trend right now.
Delrith looking for it, but it's so risky because you've lost so many fights in a row, and you're not that great at engaging fights. Raving Raptors Academy, they would much prefer to kite back in this one. I don't know if they expected themselves to get ahead like this because they've been getting the objectives, but they don't really have a real way to siege down these turrets with a Vayne and Syndra as the only other person who can start to attack those. But with the zoning potential of a Zyra, the threat of a Sejuani, a Poppy, you really can't walk up to hit those towers.
No, you really can't. You really do need to be careful. I'm sure Syndra can wave clear pretty well, but Vayne's way too close range for her to really be useful in getting these towers down, and that's who you need to be the one getting the towers down, because she has the attack damage, she has the attack speed. She's going to be the one burning through towers, but she can't get anywhere near them, because if she does, she's just going to be engaged upon and wasted.
And that's one of the awkward points here for Raving Raptors, is that they can't get onto these objectives, and Plasmon, because they're winning fights, they just don't have to leave the base. They know if they... Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Delrith is going in. He's been pretty far. Gets a good depth charge as we see Pabino in the backline. He's trying to get on the Cyrus. That is a 2-man Hemoplague. And here comes the Onslaught of Shadows. They do get Delrith. They're able to get him down. And there was the Glacial Prison. It did hit onto Dexter, but he had that Quicksilver Sash, was able to get out of that one. They're trying to get a kill.
Oh my!
They do get Van Diesel. Here comes Dexter. Dexter now is able to get in this range as we see Pabino able to take out Cyrex. Are they going to be able to get more? They're trying to see if they can't zone out Malviz and Naruto, keeping them away. They want to keep them away from the fight. And Malviz is going to drop. Pabino able to get that kill. They might be able to end right here. They're trying to make sure that Naruto and Bloodhound can't get back to the base, so they can't heal up. If they're able to get this for just a few more seconds, it's going to be a while till anyone's up to help them. We see Naruxio, he's very low, and Bloodhound's doing his best, but Dexter is going to end this game. Game 1 going over to Raving Raptors Academy.
Yeah, once again, a very awkward ending. Raving Raptors, they're able to keep their backliners alive, and therefore they managed to come out on top in that match, and really impressive stuff by them to close it out. Nevertheless, it took them long enough, I will give them that, but at the end, they were the ones to come out with a victory. Yeah,
they did get the victory. Very good on their part. And
look at Delrith's damage.
Oh. How much damage is Delrith?
He did second most in game 1000 behind the 9-kill Syndra, I believe. The 8-kill Syndra.
That is absolutely monstrous on that side.
That's insane.
So, game 1 did go over to Raving Raptors Academy, but it wasn't a really convincing game. definitely a struggle for them in that one. And we're going to have to see how they do in the next game that's about to come up. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a short break and get you into the game 2 between Raving Raptors Academy and Plasmon.
All right. Got the game.
Yeah! Go! Pass the ball! You can look at the ball and walk backwards. You see, that's how you do it.
Watch TV anywhere for free on 4G. Now that's something worth shouting about.
What if we could change the way we see the world? Rediscovering ourselves through the people we meet and the moments we share. Each experience, every encounter, changes our perspectives, leading us to live life our own way. Money my way.